Alright, guys, so I had a thought in my head, okay? And obviously, what you're seeing on your screens right now is probably that mission from Resident Evil Village with Chris Redfield. So I know a lot of us, we love Resident Evil for a lot of different reasons. But can we get either in Requiem or in another Resident Evil game where we just come OP, where we're just OP from the beginning? Because again, I know a lot of people like the survival aspect of feeling like, okay, well, maybe I shouldn't use this weapon or maybe I shouldn't use that weapon. Because I felt like when we played as Chris in Resident Evil Village, that when you're just going through the village, you're just wrecking, the wolves. You're just wrecking them out. You're taking them down, and you got a lot of ammunition. You're getting other ammunition from your team, and you're just I mean, again, I can see the reason why they did that because Chris Redfield's been through so much, and also because he has like a lot of supplies, obviously for this mission. He's been doing a lot of reconnaissance and etc. But why can't we have that for a good majority of the game? And then maybe later on in the game, you lose it, you lose all that stuff, and then you just have to regain it right before the very end. And at some point, you regain it again. Like they need to do that. I've been wanting that. Like again, rather than just trying to be OP after about 3 or 4 playthroughs, and you just save all your money and all your weapons are maxed out. Same thing with your ammo and all this stuff. I mean, again, I know a lot of people do that, and again, that's perfectly fine. But I figure I just kind of come out of the box for a little bit and be like, can we just get like an OP, start out from the beginning where it's just like completely OP, where we have everything we need, for weapons and gear and whatever, and we just go through it. We just go through it. We gain more stuff. We have a huge container that we're using for our suitcase or whatever we're using like we've done in the previous games, and then we just gain more stuff along the way, whether it's herbs, whether it's weapons or parts or attachments or treasures or whatever the case of it is, and we just go through it because again, I love that mission. I do. I don't know why, but I do, because not only because again playing as Chris after for so long, but at the same time it's one of those where you're OP for the first time as Chris. You're OP. You're not like trying to get everything at the bottom. You're not. You're just getting the bare minimum. Because every time we play as Leon or Chris or Jill or Carlos or Claire or Ethan, or whoever, we're always getting the bare minimum in ammo and herbs and health and everything else, and even attachments, because we gotta buy them or we gotta find them or whatever, we gotta do all that. And again, I know that's part of the game, and I have no problem with that. But I would just like at one point where we're just OP from the start, because again, look at Leon, look at Chris, look at Jill, look at Claire. They've been doing this for however long in the franchise. You would think they'd have a buttload of ammo or weapons or something, or a good team that they just come in, they just start wrecking monsters, and that's what I want to see more of. That's what I really do. Again, if they want to continue the franchise or kind of go in between the games, whether it be a mobile, not even really a mobile game, but like, on Switch or consoles or something like that, again, let's just have that happen. Let's just have something like we had in Resident Evil Village where we can just go in and just be like, you see a horde, like however many enemies, and we're just like, okay, and we just start wrecking them. That just needs to happen, out of my personal opinion. But what do you guys think about this? Do you want this to happen? Do you think it's going to happen at some point? Or have you even thought about it? Have you even said, or are you just at the point now where it's like, okay, I'm good with what I got, and I'm going to survive on what I got until I get more later on down the line. I'm just going to keep doing it through all my playthroughs. Again, you can only do that before you either get annoyed or you just love doing it anyway. But again, just thinking outside the box, figure out how to bring this up as a possible video that I want to do, because I've been talking more about Resident Evil, and I've been really enjoy talking about it. But let me know what you guys think. I'll see you as always on the next one.